Haha, let me tell you, hey, you're gonna love this video, cause you know what? I'm gonna be honest, the people you all know and love in FNAF are stupid. Even if they're supposed to be the good guys, they're irresponsible, and honestly, sometimes they're just as bad as the people we want stopped. So today, we're gonna look at some more of the horrific things that people in this series have done in today's video, alright? Okay, also, again, this isn't just Afton, okay? There are some horrible people in this series. Okay, prepare your pitchforks, cause you're gonna get mad. Let's do it. In a 10, possibly killed wife. While this hasn't been confirmed as of yet, so it currently is non-canon, but many people consider William Afton offing his wife to be the story of her demise, even though technically we know nothing about her and she could still be alive. Many people consider her to have died either in a car crash or because William killed her. Those are the most common thoughts on the matter, although her dying in a car accident came from a FNAF music video that was made by the Living Tombstones, and I don't even think there's actually a car accident in the video. I looked at it and I don't think there was a car accident, but I've had many people yell at me in my DMs and in the comments telling me that it's canon that she dies in a car accident, but it's not. It's not even canon that she died, really, okay? I mean, it's FNAF, so the potential is there that William was the reason she kicked the animatronic part-filled bucket, but it's only a possibility. That's why it's at the top, okay? I get, if it ends up getting confirmed, I am more than willing to bump it up more on this list, but I mean, like, statistically speaking, your spouse is the person most likely to kill you, especially if they're a serial killer bent on bringing their son back from death, but I mean, hey. In at 9, arson. Alright, don't get me wrong, I love fire, and I've made jokes about arson multiple times on this channel, but because I love a little anarchy. But this man has some serious pyromaniac tendencies from the looks of things, alright? Henry Emily. He sets one place on fire in 2023 and then proceeds to light another building on fire not long after that. Bro, what's your deal? Like, why are you all so fire happy all of a sudden, okay? It doesn't even work. Literally every time we see a fire, it doesn't do one thing. It doesn't do the one thing we wanted it to do, which is kill Afton for good. He survived in FNAF 3, he survived in FNAF 6, he survived in the security breach fire only to get grabbed by the blob, so clearly fire isn't working. But Henry doesn't stop, even though it failed when Afton was literally locked in a room for 30 years. And yes, the FNAF security breach fires were thanks to Henry, since it was almost certainly the same system that he used to set the original FNAF 6 building on fire because it's the same building. So yeah, since this is the Freddy's simulated pizzeria from that game, those fires are the same fires, but also not. This man keeps setting fire after fire with no actual accomplishments because of it. Like, goddamn, take a hint, dude, it's not working. And it ain't sealed Afton. Speaking of putting William out of commission for 30 years, why did he do that? It seems like a dumb idea compared to some alternatives, okay? Maybe he tried other avenues before he actually ended up hiding those rooms away and sealing them. Maybe that was his last resort. But in reality, we can't be sure. We have really nothing to go off of, okay? This man sees Afton stuck spasming in the spring Bonnie suit and then straight up thinks, yeah, let's just hide this and let's put him out of his misery and try to end his killing spree once and for all. I mean, he might have tried it, and I mean, like, we know he's possessed, so he couldn't have done it, but like, did he try? We don't know. It seems like the biggest mistake made by any FNAF character is the choice to make William suffer. If we just like put him to the sword, maybe we'd all be able to go home safely. But no, okay, he locks Afton in a room where he hopes that he'll starve to death and suffer. Stupid idea, okay? He could have just ended it there, hopefully, maybe, possibly. We don't know if he was possessed at that point. I know he was possessed at that point. He could have tried to end it. We don't know if he tried or not, okay? But like, even if it did work, it's not like someone's gonna know it was you, or even that the animatronic actually contained a person, okay? Even like the death penalty nowadays doesn't have people suffer, okay? Like, don't be dumb for your own petty vengeance. Let them suffer in prison, where they're probably gonna get killed anyway, because they don't like people who attack children in prison, which is weird enough, but like, still. But hey, and if you're gonna lock him in a room for 30 years, don't set him free. There's a thought. And at 7, lied about Remnant. Now, this also isn't confirmed, much like the fact that he possibly killed his wife. However, Afton lying about how Remnant works seems to be the most likely explanation to me. So if you want a full explanation as to why I think that Afton lied about Remnant, go check out that video, okay? Link is in the iCard, if I can remember. Can't guarantee that, but I'm gonna try, okay? But I'm gonna wrap up my ideas quickly here. Basically, there have been 3 fires so far that were all meant to finish William Afton for good, and none of them worked. The reason Henry tried fire is seemingly because that's supposed to be the thing that can burn off remnant. However, remnant can also be found in liquid form. So how can it be molten but also burn off via fire? You use fire to make things molten. It makes more sense to me, at least, that William ended up making up this lie and passing it off as Phineas Taggart or something similar, so that Henry thinks that he can be killed by fire, so if Henry did try to kill him, he would keep trying and failing to do so, since he didn't have to worry about actually dying. Since literally every time Afton has been caught in a fire, he has survived, okay? And you may think that it's the one you should not have killed, but the other animatronics infused with remnant also survive, like Baby, the puppet, and Ennard in FNAF 6, as we see from the blob. So, yeah. And at 6, listened to his father. Now this takes a bit of assuming, okay? But less assuming than if Glamrock Freddy is possessed, so it's gonna be a little more realistic. We learn in Michael's final speech in Sister Location that he went to find his sister because his father asked him to, saying something along the lines of, "I did it, I put her back together, just like you asked me to," which is, yes, in reference to Baby. But the issue I have with this is, why did you listen to your dad? Okay? I don't think he learned about the horrible things his father did because of Baby, okay? I think he must have learned of it beforehand. Maybe when he got Crying Child killed, because, you know, it was a freaking animatronic jaw that should not have been able to do that, and that's why he put his head in there to begin with, okay? And even if he didn't know what William was doing, honestly, that could make this point even worse. Like, what else has William asked his son to do? Either while he's been stuck in Fazbear's Fright, or before that, what has Michael done without question? I don't know, okay? It's a thought that really worries me, and maybe Michael has more to repent for than just hurting his brother, you know? Maybe he's accidentally found victims for William. It's possible. We don't know. Halfway through into number 5, freed Afton. Like I said earlier, not only does this man lock Afton away in a secret room in an old pizzeria, he then ends up letting him be set free. Henry, the owner of the company, would most definitely have been the one to okay the sale for a FNAF 3 location, or even license out the IP so that they could make a recreation, okay? He would have had to, okay? However, he sells it anyway, knowing that Afton is trapped inside a location, okay? I don't know why this guy thought that it was a good idea, but here we are. William is then set free by these new people because they see that the original blueprints have a secret room, and then lo and behold, William is free again and thirsty for blood. Like, sure, Henry might have thought that William was dead, okay? But did he think that those guys would stumble upon a dead body in his secret room all sealed up and just ignore it? Or freak out and get rid of it themselves? Like, would they even know it was a dead body? Because, like, they might have just thought it was an animatronic, like they do in the game. So, like, what was Henry's plan here? It doesn't seem to make any sense. Was this man on some form of illicit substance that I can't name because it's YouTube when he came up with this whole idea? Like, I don't know, okay? It seems like a really stupid f***ing idea if you ask me. Like, who would think that this is going to work out? Especially after owning a business for that long and seeing how many times this fucker comes back. Well, I mean, at this point, he didn't know that he came back, but like, still. In it for Bad Babysitter. Now, while we don't really know the details about what's going on inside the Midnight Motorist minigame, I think it's fairly safe to say that this is supposed to be the Afton family, and particularly the Afton males. Seemingly, Michael was babysitting Crying Child while their father was, at work, but Michael was just watching some TV, and not his little brother, which allowed his little brother to break his window and go to a pizza place again, which I'm sure made his father so angry that when he got back home, he wasn't the nice father I'm sure he pretends to be on the outside, if you kinda know what I mean. So, Michael's neglect ended up getting his little brother in trouble, and then God knows what else, all because he wanted to watch his show, which is possibly Immortal and the Restless, which, you know what, makes it even worse because it's a freaking soap opera. Okay, and before any of you get mad at me and tell me that, like, the one who tells William to go easy on Crying Child is someone else, okay? It's Michael. It's most definitely Michael. It's not a wife, okay? Since this is after William started killing. Plus, it's the same gray shirt that he wears in FNAF 4 in front of the same TV we sit at in Sister Location. That's about as clear cut as this series gets. So, yeah. Getting close to the end, and in number 3, human masks. Now, it's unclear what Vanny does with these human masks, but through the FNAF AR emails we learned that Vanessa, while in her Vanny Persona 5, ended up purchasing 3 realistic human masks. No idea why. It's like never brought up again, but honestly, you gotta admit that's pretty terrifying no matter what she ends up doing with them. Maybe they were for realistic humanoid robots, maybe, or maybe she wanted to prank people on Omegle where she pretends to be a dude or something. I don't know, okay, but the possibilities are fairly finite but also endless, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there are so many things that she could be doing with those masks that it's impossible to guess. I mean, educated guessing and matpat both lean towards one of the masks being used on Gregory. But this then begs the question, if that is true, where did the other 2 go? Or like, were they used at all? Or like any of them? Vanessa and Gregory are the only 2 human characters in this game, so like what's the deal here? Is she using one to like put on William again so that he has a normal face? I don't know, just buying them is scary enough, but like, did she use them? Or did she hang them on her wall or something? I think the fact that we didn't see them in Security Breach makes it worse than actually knowing what she did with them. But ultimately, into number 2, grand larceny. Now, stealing a boatload of trinkets, fine, assuming we gave that as a pass to Gregory, okay? Either way, he still commits grand larceny, which is typically seen as stealing anything with a combined value of $400 or more, or something that would cost over $400 to replace in a reasonable amount of time. If we ignore the 87 collectible prize boxes found throughout Security Breach, which would easily equal to over $400, he still steals Freddy at the end of the game. In multiple endings, Freddy and Gregory leave the Pizzaplex without a care in the world, including the canon ending. And before you say, Connor, I'm calling BS, Freddy chose to leave with Gregory in those endings. Freddy is an animatronic robot, okay? He has no free will. He is not sentient. He physically, in the eyes of the law, cannot make that choice. He is property of Fazbear Entertainment. He is not a living being, okay? He has no rights. He is a robot. He's an object in the most literal sense of the word, which makes me think that we need to just stop playing these games. I mean, I don't even want to deal with this. So, Gregory, in theory, should be getting charged with a whole lot more than just grand larceny, in my mind, based on multiple other videos. I mean, like, a couple parts ago, I'm pretty sure I explained to you that he just straight up murders Vanny. But yeah, tell me that you don't think replacing Freddy in a reasonable amount of time would cost less than $400. Okay, if you're trying to tell me that right now, I need you to leave this video, okay? He would be the most expensive thing to replace. He literally is, the AI complexity alone would cost $400. God. And finally, in at number 1, the missing children's incident. I mean, this is fairly low-hanging fruit since it's like the inciting moment for the whole series, but I think it's worth calling out at least. The missing children's incident, in case you've forgotten, is the infamous incident where 5 kids go missing inside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and are never seen again. Police investigated but were unable to find any bodies, thus they had to let their suspect, in this case I'm guessing William Afton, go due to a lack of evidence. However, this is one of the most historically painful moments that you can think of, okay, especially if you're a parent. 5 families went into Freddy Fazbear's wanting their kids to have a good time, like in 1985, and then left without their favorite people. They had the time of their lives, and it also just so happened to be the end of their lives. Not only that, but Afton also ends up getting away with it since the police were terrible at their jobs or getting paid off. Still not sure which one in this case, okay? But the missing children's incident is one of the most messed up things to ever happen in this series, but without it, we wouldn't have the series. So, at least it's all fake on this earth, at least. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been, and Charmaine Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. This Raw is way too damn long. God damn.